I started thinking about the connections between privacy and film, and there are many. On the one hand, like Julie was saying, film is such an important part of storytelling and of how we view ourselves and the kind of culture we create.
There is such an incredible digital transformation. There is an opportunity, but there is also a lack of understanding from, I would say, society through media. How do we understand this kind of technological revolution we're going through your research? How do we understand privacy through storytelling? Why is film so important in that? Could you give us some insights there? Thank you so much.
Absolutely, thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here. So when I got invited to join this panel, it's an unusual invitation for a philosopher to be in Cannes, and it's such a privilege. And I started thinking about the connections between privacy and film, and there are many. On the one hand, like Julie was saying, film is such an important part of storytelling and of how we view ourselves and the kind of culture we create. On the one hand, it reflects culture, but on the other hand, it also creates it. So in that way, it's really important for film to allow us to understand better our digital world, because on the one hand, digital tech is very intuitive and very easy to use and so on. At the same time, it's incredibly opaque. So one of the marks of data is that it's very invisible. When somebody collects your data and sells it and does something untoward with it, you usually don't learn of it until much, much later. When you get your data stolen, it's not like somebody cuts through your flesh. It's not like getting a virus that doesn't allow you to breathe. Those are very tangible harms. And data can be just as poisonous and just as dangerous, but it's just something like a slow-acting poison. It's something that you usually find out months or years afterwards, once it's too late. And many times you can't even track exactly when did your data get stolen and who was it exactly and how did it get used. So film in this sense can make things that are invisible to us much more tangible. It can explain to us the kind of journey that data goes through from the time it gets created to the time it ends up in the hands of a company or a government or a data broker or insurance or something else. And so in that sense, it has an incredible opportunity to make our world more understandable. Going back to the issue of culture, I think we're in a really important historical moment in which we are approximating something not quite like the Cold War, but getting dangerously near it. And essentially, there are two visions of technology that are arising. On the one hand, we have something that could be called authoritarian technocracy or something like that, with China, big state that really believes in surveillance and uses surveillance in very invasive ways and in a collaboration with companies. And there is a push in the West to create technology that is more sensitive towards democracy and that protects democracy. And these two models are very different. And the kind of narratives that we build around them will be crucial. So, I'm not sure that we are overly negative about technology. I think for the most part, people are so positive about technology that we invite these devices into our homes. Everybody has a phone, everybody has a laptop, and so on. And it's really important to make sure that those devices are built in a way that support our values.
Well, I think you mentioned something really powerful there. I think with any great tool comes great responsibility, and that's what I take from what you said, Carissa. And I do agree. I do think there are elements of opaqueness, and that how do we make things more tangible to audiences. But picking up what you said about consumers and how they feel about technology. Yes, I agree. I think, generally people feel like technology is a great thing for them. It's a great asset. It's a great tool. But when it comes to narratives in the film industry, there has been a long line of narratives in the future of technology and what our future society looks like and how we're going to build the world we live in, which tends to be slightly dystopian.